And welcome to Hannity. Tonight, the world is on edge. In the span of 48 hours, 2 top terrorists were eliminated, including the leader of Hamas inside the Islamic Republic of Iran. At this hour, we are monitoring the situation abroad, where Iran's supreme leader has now vowed to retaliate against Israel. So now Israel, they're battling Hamas in the south out of Gaza, Hezbollah in the north out of Lebanon, and likely facing more missile attacks from Iran. And the Democrats, they are now running a presidential candidate that thinks Israel should not defend itself, should constantly lecturing them to show restraint, and we should have the courage to never again use the term radical Islamic terrorism. Things have gotten extraordinarily dangerous around the globe, and they might get worse. Back at home, Democrats, the state-run media mob, they are prioritizing identity politics. Today, former President Trump participated in a panel at the National Association of Black Journalists, and that was a conference in Chicago. And apparently, ABC reporter Rachel Scott was not happy about it. In fact, she didn't open with, "Mr. President, I hope you're feeling better after your assassination attempt." No, she opened the question and answer session with several hostile allegations. Take a look.
I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs.
Now, maybe if ABC was an honest network and they had fair journalists, maybe President Trump's real record with African Americans would be front and center, because he has a strong record. Also, maybe it's time for Donald Trump to reject any appearance at ABC. For example, why would he show up at their debate if the, quote, journalists clearly have opinion and want to debate Donald Trump themselves? And maybe he should just accept the Fox News channel's offer to debate. The first debate was on CNN. Why not have the second one on Fox News? But back to my point. Under President Trump's administration, well, black unemployment in America hit a record low. The wealth gap was closing and income was rising. He said record high after record high unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women in the workplace, and African American youth unemployment. New special economic opportunity zones spurred development in predominantly African American neighborhoods that Democrats had long given up on. Under President Trump, federal funding for historically black colleges and universities, that hit an all-time record high. And criminal justice reform, spearheaded by Donald Trump, it freed countless of African Americans who are serving lengthy prison sentences for nonviolent crimes. We called it disparate sentencing that they were experiencing. President Trump also granted clemencies and pardons to many African Americans, including prominent African Americans, also including, remember, the great-grandmother, Alice Marie Johnson. Who could forget that moment? Who was sentenced to life in prison for one drug-related charge. But ABC's Rachel Scott wasn't interested in any of that. And apparently neither was the reporter from Semaphore. Take a look.
I'm going to get my J.D. Vance question in. To your point and to Rachel's point, he, has a lot of opinions about childless women like myself or divorced people like yourself. Do you think, well, I mean, my
But
point
at
is
least
here.
it was said in a friendly manner.
My point is.
He does have a sense of humor. You got to give it to him. Ignore the noise. This election does need to be about the issues and beliefs and performance of both candidates. Now, but what the state-run media mob will never focus on is Kamala Harris, her track record, her in her own words, and her extreme beliefs. The media refuses to vet her political positions, which now seem to change with regularity, which is somewhat laughable. She wanted to ban private health insurance and, of course, Medicare for all, and now she doesn't. She sponsored the bill in the Senate with Bernie Sanders. She wanted to abolish ICE, even comparing them to the KKK. Now she wants to give them more funding. She wanted to reimagine public safety and the police and take police off the street, praised L.A. for defunding the police, and now she no longer supports that, she says. And strongly she advocated for mandatory federal gun confiscation. Now all of a sudden no longer supports it out of nowhere. And she frequently called for a ban on fracking, but is apparently now pro-fracking. You know, remember the mandatory gun buyback program? Yeah, that was a program that would be like confiscation, except they give you a few bucks for it. Anyway, sounds like the quintessential ambitious politician in the swamp that will say and do anything to get into power and stay in power. It's almost like a caricature of a bad politician. But no one really truly knows what she believes, because that's now changing daily. Again, state-run media mob, they won't bother to even ask. Kamala has given few interviews during her time as vice president, 0 interviews on Fox News, and since announcing her bid for president, she has conducted 0 press conferences. Given her track record as border czar and a senator, I think it's a safe bet that Kamala is extremely far left, more radical than any major party presidential candidate, frankly, in American history. I can think of nobody more left. On the other hand, Donald Trump says what he believes, like it or not. He will tell you what he plans to do. In his 4 years as president, he followed through on his promises. You want border security? Did it before, he'll do it again. You want peace through strength? You think the world will be safer and more secure with Donald Trump? Did it before, I would imagine he would do it again. You want lower inflation, lower gas prices? You want a stronger economy? He did it before, and he will do it again. My humble advice in November, you can forget all the identity politics, forget the biased, abusively biased media mob and state-run media, and all the emotional roller coaster ride that the media will take you on, and the hysteria, and you will want to really get away from the unprincipled conversations, the nonstop smear, slander, besmirchment, campaign ads. Focus on results. What was better under, who did you do better under? In other words, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Did the Biden-Harris administration offer you better border policies, more law and order, more safety and security for you and your family, better schools, lower energy prices? Was the world a safer place, or were you better off 4 years ago? That's a question only you can answer. Now, earlier today, not everyone on stage was out to get Donald Trump. Our friend and colleague, the anchor of the Faulkner Focus, Harris Faulkner, she raised several very fair, very important issues. Take a look.
I want to talk about something that bursts, and this is the weight of the inflation on this country right now. Much of that falls on the shoulders of single moms, single black moms, when you look statistically. Yeah. How do you turn it around? What's your plan for the black community when it comes to money?
The inflation is absolutely destroying our middle class, our working class, virtually every class. Inflation is a disaster in our country. Inflation is a country buster. It breaks every country. And we had, in my opinion, the worst inflation we've had. They say it's 58 years, but I think it's much more than that. People can't buy houses. They no longer have the American dream. Young people, young black people, they don't have the American dream anymore. They can't buy a house. They can't borrow the money because of the cost of the money. They can't buy because of the cost of housing, because of the cost to build it, because of inflation. Inflation is a disaster, and it's destroying our country.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.